You sit in the shadow of your own potential, a vast, untapped reservoir of power and possibility, quietly whispering the truth you dare not speak aloud. You are meant for more. Yet, in the silence of your own self-doubt, you play small, shrinking to fit the limited expectations others have carved for you. But understand this: when you stop playing small, when you decide to rise unapologetically into the fullness of your being, you become a threat to average minds. Those who prefer comfort over challenge, mediocrity over mastery, fear the brilliance of your awakening because it exposes their own complacency. This is no idle metaphor. It is a psychological battlefield where conformity wars with greatness. Carl Jung taught us that the collective unconscious is populated not only by archetypes of heroism and transformation, but also by the shadow of fear and resistance, the part of ourselves that clings to safety and sameness. To awaken fully is to stir this shadow in others, igniting insecurities and defensive reactions from those unwilling or unable to confront their own stagnation. You see, average minds are conditioned to maintain equilibrium, an illusion of control masquerading as safety. They are comfortable with the familiar scripts, the predictable outcomes, the small victories that never threaten the status quo. When you break free from these scripts, when your vision expands beyond the narrow confines of accepted possibility, you disrupt their equilibrium. Your growth becomes a mirror reflecting their unclaimed potential and unresolved fears. This disruption is inevitable. It is the price of greatness. Nietzsche understood this when he spoke of the Übermensch, the overman who transcends the herd's limitations, becoming a beacon and a challenge to collective mediocrity. To step into your power is to embody that overman, unafraid, uncompromising, unshakable. But to reach this state requires confronting your own psyphoria, the seductive fog of self-doubt and distraction that keeps you anchored in smallness. Psyphoria cloaks your potential in illusions of inadequacy, whispering that you are not ready, not worthy, not capable. It promises safety and sameness, but delivers a slow death of the spirit. To break free, you must cultivate a mindset of radical ownership and relentless clarity. This mindset rejects excuses and embraces accountability. It cuts through the noise of internal resistance and external skepticism, focusing unwaveringly on your vision. Belief becomes your unbreakable foundation. It is forged not from wishful thinking, but from a deep knowing born of resilience and experience. This belief propels you through setbacks, silences critics, and fuels your ascent beyond average. Clarity sharpens your purpose, revealing the path that only you can walk. It strips away distractions and reveals the essence of your unique contribution to the world. This clarity demands discipline, the sacred daily commitment to your growth, your craft, your mission. Discipline is the backbone of transformation. It transforms fleeting inspiration into sustained progress, pushing you to show up even when enthusiasm wanes. Through discipline, your actions align with your vision, creating unstoppable momentum. Action is the embodiment of your power. It is the fearless step into the unknown, the deliberate dismantling of old limitations, the courageous forging of new realities. Each action sends ripples through the fabric of conformity, challenging the complacency of average minds. Gratitude tempers your journey with grace. It softens the edges of struggle, opening your heart to the gifts hidden in every challenge and victory. Gratitude cultivates resilience and joy, nourishing your spirit amid the demands of transformation. Adaptability sharpens your edge, allowing you to navigate the unpredictable currents of life without losing sight of your core. It grants you the flexibility to innovate and the wisdom to stay true. Resilience becomes your shield, empowering you to rise stronger after every fall and to persevere beyond the limits of ordinary endurance. Learning fuels your evolution, expanding your perspective and deepening your mastery. It keeps your potential dynamic, your growth relentless. When you stop playing small, you illuminate the gap between what is and what could be. You expose the fears hidden behind comfortable masks and the chains forged by conformity. You become a catalyst for awakening, not only for yourself, but for those ready to transcend their own limits. So rise with fierce determination, step into the light of your potential, and accept the inevitable truth. Your greatness will unsettle many, but it will also inspire a revolution of souls, those brave enough to follow your lead. Because when you stop playing small, you do more than threaten average minds. You redefine what is possible for all. This threat you pose to average minds is not born from arrogance or desire to dominate, but from the simple fact that you refuse to be confined. You embody a living contradiction to their comfortable narratives, reminding them of the chains they have chosen to wear. Your courage to claim your vastness shines a glaring light on their self-imposed limits, provoking discomfort that can manifest as judgment, resistance, or even attempts to diminish your shine. Yet, this is the paradox of growth. Your liberation unsettles others because it forces them to face their own shadows. In this fire of opposition, your true character is forged. You must learn to stand immovable, like an ancient oak, amid storms of criticism and doubt. Nietzsche warned of the resentment the powerful inspire in the weak, calling it the slave morality born of envy and fear. Those who cling to safety will often lash out at those who choose to risk everything for transformation. You cannot tame this reaction. You must transcend it. This transcendence begins within. It requires embracing your shadows, the parts of yourself conditioned to shrink, to hide, to comply. Jung taught that the journey to individuation demands the reconciliation of light and dark within. When you accept your whole self without apology, you disarm the power of external judgment. You move beyond the need for approval, anchored instead by self-respect and integrity. Your mindset must become a fortress of certainty amidst chaos. Cultivate relentless discipline to refocus when distractions arise, fierce clarity to discern truth from illusion, and unwavering belief that you are worthy of your dreams. This mental armor is not built overnight. It is hammered out in the daily struggle against the whispers of doubt and the comfort of surrender. Belief is your internal compass. It is the conviction that no matter the noise without, your potential is immutable. This belief fuels resilience, turning failures into lessons and obstacles into stepping stones. It allows you to continue creating when the world doubts your vision. Clarity illuminates your path. It helps you identify the distractions engineered by society to keep you compliant, the false metrics of success, the illusions of safety, the toxic comparisons. With clarity, you reclaim your narrative, crafting a story defined by authenticity and expansion rather than fear and limitation. Vision is the beacon that calls you forward. It is the vivid, uncompromising picture of your highest self, a self not constrained by others' expectations or your own doubts. Vision demands sacrifice, but offers fulfillment beyond any temporary comfort. Purpose anchors your ascent, reminding you that your growth is not just personal but collective. Your refusal to play small shifts the consciousness of those around you, igniting a ripple of awakening that can reshape communities, industries, even cultures. Discipline transforms vision into reality. It is the sacred vow to show up daily, to cultivate habits that embody your potential, and to confront discomfort with steadfast resolve. Discipline is the quiet power behind every monumental success. Action is the heartbeat of transformation. It is the courage to step beyond the known, to break patterns, and to create relentlessly. Action makes your potential tangible, shaking the foundations of average minds resistant to change. Gratitude softens your journey, opening your heart to the richness embedded in challenge and growth. It sustains joy even amid struggle, nurturing resilience and perspective. Adaptability ensures your sovereignty amidst flux. It grants you the wisdom to pivot without losing purpose, to innovate without sacrificing integrity. Resilience is your unbreakable spine, carrying you through setbacks, criticism, and exhaustion. It is the sacred refusal to let hardship dictate your worth or derail your mission. Learning fuels your evolution, inviting humility and curiosity to expand your capacity. It keeps you dynamic, receptive, and prepared to redefine yourself continuously. When you finally cease to play small, you become a living challenge to the status quo. You awaken a truth too powerful to ignore that greatness is not reserved for the chosen few, but is a birthright waiting to be claimed. You threaten average minds not by malice, but by the undeniable reality of your emergence. And in this emergence, you become the catalyst for a new paradigm, a world where the boundaries of possibility are redefined by the courageous few willing to rise. So embrace your threat, own your power, and unleash the full force of your potential upon the world. Because the future belongs to those who refuse to be small. When you decide to stop playing small, you shatter the illusion that safety lies in blending in silent obedience to the mediocre scripts handed down by fear and conformity. This act of rebellion is a declaration. I will no longer dim my light to soothe the discomfort of others. I will not trade my authenticity for acceptance. I refuse to shrink my vision so that it fits into someone else's limited worldview. This refusal unsettles the collective unconscious, the shared psyche that prefers order and predictability over chaos and change. Nietzsche called this the herd mentality, a force that suppresses individuality and enforces sameness. Your awakening cracks this herd mentality wide open, threatening those who depend on the status quo for security. Your rise is a mirror they avoid, reflecting their unspoken fears of inadequacy and stagnation. Yet, this disruption is the necessary spark for evolution. Without the courageous few who dare to live expansively, society remains trapped in cycles of complacency and decay. Your refusal to play small invites others to question their own limits. It challenges them to reclaim their power or risk remaining prisoners to mediocrity. This ripple effect is the true power of self-mastery. It transcends personal ambition and becomes a beacon of possibility. Like a wildfire, your boldness can ignite transformation in the hearts and minds of those around you, sparking a collective shift toward higher consciousness and greater potential. But this journey demands more than courage. It requires profound self-awareness and ruthless honesty. You must confront the internal negotiations. You have made those compromises between who you are and who you fear becoming. Recognize the subtle ways you have discounted your worth, silenced your voice, and deferred your dreams. Only by illuminating these shadows can you dismantle their hold. Jung's process of individuation calls for integrating these shadow aspects, embracing them as part of your whole self, rather than rejecting or repressing them. In doing so, you reclaim the fragmented pieces of your power, transforming vulnerability into strength and fear into fuel. Your mindset becomes the crucible for this transformation. Cultivate a mental environment where possibility thrives and limitation withers. Train your inner dialogue to champion resilience, clarity, and unwavering belief. This mindset is the foundation upon which you build unshakable confidence and relentless momentum. Belief anchors you when doubt and external resistance arise. It is the deep-seated conviction that you are capable and worthy of embodying your fullest potential. This belief turns challenges into opportunities and propels you beyond the gravitational pull of conformity. Clarity illuminates your purpose and direction. It cuts through the noise of distraction and societal expectation, revealing the unique path only you can walk. Clarity demands focus and commitment, enabling you to channel your energy toward meaningful growth rather than scattered effort. Vision is the magnetic force drawing you forward. It is the vivid, unrelenting picture of your highest self and most impactful life of vision, so compelling it eclipses fear and excuses. Vision requires sacrifice, but promises the fulfillment of living authentically and powerfully. Purpose imbues your journey with significance beyond personal gain. It connects your evolution to a greater cause, a collective awakening that transcends the individual and elevates humanity. Purpose is the lodestar that aligns your actions with meaning. Discipline is the sacred cadence sustaining your ascent. It is the daily dedication to practice, growth, and integrity, showing up even when motivation wanes and obstacles arise. Discipline transforms fleeting enthusiasm into enduring transformation. Action is the alchemy turning potential into reality. It is the courageous step into discomfort, the deliberate dismantling of old patterns, and the relentless creation of new possibilities. Action shatters inertia and sets your becoming into motion. Gratitude nurtures resilience by honoring the full spectrum of your experience. It invites presence, joy, and humility, transforming struggle into sacred teaching and progress into celebration. Adaptability equips you to navigate life's unpredictable currents without losing your center. It grants the wisdom to pivot gracefully, innovate boldly, and persist unwaveringly. Resilience is your unyielding backbone. It empowers you to rise after every fall, to endure hardship without surrender, and to convert pain into power. Learning keeps your evolution dynamic and expansive. It fuels curiosity, humility, and continuous growth, ensuring your potential remains limitless. So embrace the discomfort of disruption. Stand firm as the living challenge to complacency. Own your space with unwavering authenticity, because when you stop playing small, you don't just threaten average minds, you ignite a revolution of possibility. And that revolution starts with you. When you finally step beyond the confines of smallness, you awaken a primordial force within a force that refuses to be contained by the narrow walls of conformity or the chains of collective complacency. This force is your authentic self, pulsating with raw potential and unyielding power. It is the embodiment of everything you've suppressed in the name of safety, acceptance, or fear of rejection. This awakening is seismic. It rattles the foundations of the world you've known, tearing down illusions and false comforts. The average minds who once surrounded you comfortable in their quiet uniformity feel the tremors of your rise as an existential threat, not because they lack power, but because your ascent challenges the very structures they rely upon to avoid their own reckoning. Yet, this is the sacred paradox. Your breaking free invites others to either confront their own shadows or retreat deeper into the safety of mediocrity. Your life becomes a litmus test, a living question that demands, will you rise or remain bound? This is not your burden, it is your gift. The trailblazer lights the path, knowing many will choose to stay in the dark, but some will follow. In this sacred space of rebellion and creation, you learn the art of sacred solitude. The path of transcendence is often lonely, because you can no longer walk where the crowd wanders. You must cultivate a deep inner sanctuary, an unshakable foundation of self-trust and self-love. Here, away from the noise and judgment, your true power regenerates and expands. Mindset becomes your warrior's armor, forged through intention and self-mastery. You must discipline your thoughts, cultivating vigilance against the corrosive whispers of doubt and distraction. This armor is not impenetrable pride, but a humble, fierce clarity that keeps your purpose sharp and your heart open. Belief is the unbreakable thread weaving your inner tapestry. It is the profound knowing that you are capable of greatness, not in some distant future, but here and now. This belief propels you through storms, ignites your resolve, and silences the chorus of "you can't." Clarity slices through the fog of confusion and indecision. It reveals your unique calling with ruthless precision, stripping away societal noise and internal hesitation. With clarity, your energy aligns, your actions gain power. Vision blazes like a beacon, a radiant portrait of your highest self, and the impact only you can make. This vision demands sacrifice, but offers a profound fulfillment that eclipses fleeting pleasures. Purpose grounds you in service beyond self. It transforms personal ambition into collective evolution, connecting your journey to the awakening of a larger consciousness. Discipline is your rhythm, the sacred cadence of consistency and commitment. It is the daily act of rising, doing, and becoming, even when passion fades and obstacles loom. Action is the sacred pulse of manifestation. It is the courageous step into uncertainty, the relentless dismantling of old patterns, and the creative force shaping your reality. Gratitude softens your heart, turning struggle into wisdom and progress into grace. It anchors you in presence, cultivating joy amid the grind. Adaptability is your fluid strength. It allows you to navigate change with grace, innovate in chaos, and hold integrity while shifting course. Resilience is the sacred fire that refuses to die. It fuels your rise after every fall, your endurance beyond every limit, your transformation through every challenge. Learning fuels your expansive evolution. It invites humility, curiosity, and continuous refinement, keeping your journey alive and boundless. So, stand tall now. Embrace your disruptive power. Own your truth without apology. Because when you stop playing small, you ignite a revolution that reshapes worlds, starting with your own. And that revolution is unstoppable. When you embrace this unstoppable revolution within, you begin to live in a state of fierce authenticity, a living testament that greatness is not granted, it is claimed. No longer will you bow to the quiet tyranny of average expectations or the subtle pressure to conform. You stand, unshaken and unapologetic, a force of nature carving new paths through landscapes long thought unchangeable. This is the alchemy of transformation, the courage to face the discomfort of growth, the willingness to risk rejection for the sake of truth, and the steadfast commitment to embody the fullness of your potential. Every step forward breaks the spell of limitation, dismantling the illusions that once held you captive. The price is high fear, isolation, and resistance, but the reward is immeasurable. A life lived fully, fiercely, and freely. In this journey, your mindset evolves into a weapon of precision. You learn to wield your thoughts like a master swordsman, cutting through distraction, silencing doubt, and forging clarity from chaos. This mental mastery does not seek perfection, but progress, transforming every challenge into an opportunity for deeper insight and greater strength. Belief becomes your anchor in storms of uncertainty. It is the unwavering faith that your vision is worth every sacrifice, every hardship, every moment of doubt. This belief fuels your resilience and ignites your creative fire, propelling you beyond the limits others impose. Clarity becomes the lighthouse guiding your voyage. It reveals the currents beneath the surface, the hidden fears, the disguised opportunities, the true desires that beckon you forward. With clarity, you navigate the tumultuous seas of change with confidence and grace. Vision blazes like a comet across the night sky, a radiant declaration of your destiny that draws you inexorably onward. This vision is not a passive dream, but an active force demanding your full presence and unwavering dedication. Purpose grounds you in a mission greater than self. It connects your personal evolution to the collective awakening, turning your journey into a catalyst for transformation that reverberates far beyond your own life. Discipline is the heartbeat sustaining your ascent. It is the relentless commitment to show up, to act, and to persevere, even when the path grows steep and the rewards seem distant. Discipline bridges the gap between aspiration and achievement. Action is the sacred dance of creation. It is the bold step into the unknown, the dismantling of old paradigms, and the fearless construction of new realities aligned with your highest truth. Gratitude infuses your journey with grace. It softens the sharp edges of struggle and opens your heart to the abundance present in every moment. Gratitude transforms hardship into wisdom and effort into joy. Adaptability sharpens your capacity to thrive amid uncertainty. It teaches you to bend without breaking, to innovate without losing integrity, and to flow with life's unpredictable rhythms. Resilience becomes your fortress. It empowers you to rise stronger after every fall, to persist beyond obstacles, and to transmute pain into power. Learning fuels your perpetual evolution. It invites humility and curiosity, ensuring that your growth is as boundless as your vision. So now, unleash the full force of your awakening. Step beyond the confines of smallness. Claim your power with relentless courage, because when you stop playing small, you do not merely threaten average minds. You redefine the very nature of possibility itself. And in doing so, you become the architect of a new world, starting with the masterpiece of your own becoming. Now, stand unshakable in this truth. Your smallness is a choice, not a fate. The moment you refuse to play small, you ignite a spark that cannot be contained. You become a beacon, a living challenge to every comfort zone, every limiting belief, every whispered doubt. Your greatness unsettles because it demands that others reckon with their own untapped potential. But know this, their fear is not your burden. Your path is not to shrink for their ease, but to rise in full, unapologetic power. To own your light fiercely, to walk boldly in your purpose, to create without hesitation. When you stop negotiating with your brilliance, when you refuse to dim your fire to soothe the average, you unleash a revolution that begins within and echoes across the world. So rise now, play large, threaten average minds with your extraordinary life, and become the unstoppable force you were always meant to be.